streaming of CGTN, and I'm the reporter Liu Yingtong. I am now in Yichang of Jiangxi province. Behind me, that's the 8th China Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition. It's the final for new energy and eco-friendly and energy-saving competition. Different ministries and entities have been co-sponsoring this competition. In China, this could be said as the largest size of innovation and entrepreneurship competition at a very high level. It was dated back to 2012, and this year marks the 8th anniversary. Today, the theme of this competition is about energy saving and new energy, and it's the final competition, which means after today, the competition will be wrapped up for this year. What enterprises are in this competition and what will be their results and what are the highlights of this competition, today we're going to bring you. We have invited the Director Yan from the Ministry of Science and Technology. Mr. Yan, could you please introduce to us about this competition? It sounds big, and it certainly is relevant to innovation and entrepreneurship, right? The China Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition was launched in 2012. Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Science and Technology, and the Cyberspace Administration, and also China Merchants Bank have been co-sponsoring this national event. In the beginning, we focused on the translation of scientific results and helping the startup companies as well as matching those enterprises with the capital market. So the slogan back then was, "Make a big difference through scientific innovation." We hope to match the market resources with those startup companies, particularly the SMEs. We hope to translate our research and technological innovation results. And for now, about 4,000 enterprises and 1,000 teams have been participating in this annual event. In the beginning, enterprises and the capital market are the main players. And we divide this competition into different regions across China. After regional contest, we have a national final. In the first and second round, CCTV broadcasted the two events for 2 years, but starting from the third year, particularly since the end of 2014 and early 2015, the Party Central Committee called for mass entrepreneurship and innovation, and our size grew bigger. We got our opportunity of rapid growth. So starting from that year, we divide our competition into two parts. The first one is called local contest. The second is about industry-specific final. In the local competition, now it has developed to 2018 to cover 37 provinces, autonomous regions, and the independent municipalities. They have their independent local contest. And this year, even Tibet has been included. They are entitled to hold their independent contest. After the completion of the local independent contests, we gathered all those winners of local enterprises on a national platform. And then we divide those winners into different industries. This year is about 6 different industries. And then in the final for these 6 industries, we will select the best performing entrepreneurs in different industries. They will fight for the laureates this year in the final. So now this is the 8th China Innovation and Entrepreneurship Competition's final. I noticed that since April this year, when we started this year's local contest, about 30,000 different enterprises participated. So Was there a screening process? So what's the procedure? It goes like this. First of all, we have a unified platform and we have a unified standard. They have to register and apply with certain documents. And then we have conditions. For example, for innovation and entrepreneurship, we pay attention to two factors. One, technological related innovation and entrepreneurship. We hope all the candidates must be playing in the main battlefield of our economy and technologies, and they're echoing the call of the national government. And second factor is they must be innovative, whether in behaviors or projects. We also pay attention to the early stage. We hope to get involved in the early stage to help them. The earlier, the better. And we have a certain requirement, that is, they must be established for at least 10 years. And their revenue this first half of this year must meet the threshold. So that's consistent with our SME requirement in the technological field. As you said, the qualified candidates were about 30,000. And we have a screening process in the first round. The different localities will organize the first round under our national requirements. And then, based on the numbers and different special industries locally, there will be semi-finals. It's like a roadshow. The enterprises will present and then answer questions, and then they will get a score. And by the ranking of the score, they will know their place. And then we got the winners at the local level. And we gathered them together. 1,424 enterprises entered the final. And then we divide the over 1,400 enterprises into 6 industries for the final competition. And in every industry-specific competition, there will be 9 final winners. So you have semi-final and final. Yesterday, I was looking around and I saw that you group them together in different rooms. And in your procedure, what is the scoring system for the judges? The objective was to industrialize and commercialize those technological results and develop the enterprises. So as to the review system, the final follows the same procedure as the semi-final. There will be the presentation lasting about 8 minutes. The enterprises will have to give a presentation within 8 minutes, and then the jury will ask questions and take answers for 7 minutes, and then they will have to present their final score. So in total, every enterprise has about 15 minutes. So what's your considerations? Why do you decide the 15 minutes to be the time? If you give them enough time, 1 day may not be enough for their presentation. But strictly speaking, for an enterprise, 8 minutes will be enough for those enterprises to brief us about their history, product, technologies, market, team, business model, and their performance. And in the 7 minutes of Q&A, our judges will have focal points. It's totally enough to straighten out some things. That's why we decide on that time breakdown. This final competition is held in Yichang. How many enterprises are in today's event about new energy? It's about 202 enterprises for today. enterprises were built in different years, and they have different experience. So we further divide those enterprises into startup enterprises and the growing enterprises. So 2 groups for the final. We don't want to put the kids to compete against the adults. And there are 48 startup companies and 152 growing enterprises. So larger number for the enterprises in the growth stage. Relatively speaking, they are at 2 different stages of development. And also it takes some time for them to enter the second stage. So now, with that separation, we can avoid the neglection of a good idea or good innovation. It's a very comprehensive consideration, not just a product or idea or technology. We have to look at the overall performance of the enterprises. Now let's walk in for a closer look. I guess the competition is already on. After today, there will be 9 winners for this group under the theme of environmental friendly and energy saving group. I certainly believe in their strengths to enter whether semi-final or final. Yes, they're quite good. Yesterday, our jury gave comments about those candidates. In their words, compared to previous years, one biggest highlight for these enterprises are that they have strong sense of technological innovation. Many of those projects this year could actually be breaking the record. They could fill in the loophole we had in the past. They can solve the pain points of our industrial chain. And secondly, this year, for all the projects, they have very high market recognition. Their technologies have been tested in the market. Particularly the enterprises in the growing stage. Based on their financial data and their performance, we could prove that point. So, one factor about their success is the recognition from the market. And thirdly, the jury believes that this year's enterprises have very high potential of growth in the future. They're not just a flooding in for the hot spot. This year we don't have this so-called hot spot. They are not just following blindly the most sought-after points. For example, e-commerce. They're not following suit. Instead, they stick to their initial mission of innovation and entrepreneurship in different fields. We have wide coverage of different fields. And at the same time, the projects are all promising. So in their words, the quality has been improving year by year. So I think it's a very meaningful competition for the market, indeed. There are a lot of exhibition boards here. I see that you divide them into different regions in China, for example, Eastern China. Yes, that's based on the administrative regions division in China, like Northeastern China and Eastern China. If they're entitled to the final, we put their brief introduction here on the boards. For example, that Anhui Technology Company. We include their equipment, their enterprise information here. If you scan the QR code, you will get more details. I see the contact information and the QR code here. At this stage, it's not just a simple competition anymore, and we are not just presenting those enterprises to the society. Of course, this competition is a platform for us to discover the values of those companies, and secondly, we are disseminating the culture, and thirdly, we're creating an environment of innovation. We also want to truly do something that requires resources. Our guests and our jury may be in the capital market or maybe the investors, so they could communicate closely with the enterprises for future investment. So this is a good platform for mobilizing social resources. Yes, it's indeed a good platform. Every industry could get the information they needed on this platform. Even the government. Through this event, they could have better understanding of the industries. If they want to develop some emerging strategic industries, they want to learn whether it could add some value to the industrial chain, and they could find the answer here. Particularly now we're holding this event in Yichang. Yichang municipal government is very supportive of this event. Many government agencies are supporting this event with close communication, with full understanding and communication. If everything is set, maybe that enterprise could choose to settle down here in Yichang City. That's a good thing for this local city as well. I guess there are a lot of cities struggling to hold such an event. I recommend you to follow the event. After today's final, according to the information at my hand, 5 candidates have come to the consensus of settling down in Yichang. They will sign a letter of intention with the local government. So that's what this competition does to those enterprises. The good business environment and mechanisms are good platforms for those enterprises, including the national policies. Also, Mr. Yan, I saw so many new energy technologies and enterprises exhibited in this event. So what type of those contents impressed you? There are a lot of choices here. As I said, they are not just blindly following certain hot topic. These enterprises brought us more products, more diversified products in the energy sector or environment-friendly sector. For example, battery upgrading, new materials, and also for this year, one special thing is about combining the internet concept with energy and environment industries. For example, energy management or the grid management or the garbage sorting. That's one special thing about this year. I'm really overwhelmed by so many enterprises. So when the jury is making a decision, what are the considerations? We are matching the resources with the market, as I said, so we have to consider the market concepts and demands. When the jury is making a choice, our evaluation of those projects will be more than just a professionalism. The jury is composed of not just experts, we will also choose some industrial leaders. So we could have a better grip of the policy direction in the semi-final and final In principle, the partners or CEOs or board of directors are sitting there. They are more experienced and familiar with the industries. And also, most importantly, previously we just invited the technical experts, but now we invite the experts proficient in not just technologies but also the market. They may have the experience of starting their own business before, so they're in a better place to help the startups, and they're more justified to guide those enterprises. So such a market-oriented selection procedure and principle would really allow some enterprises to stand out. For the final winners, will there be some supportive measures? Certainly they will. For example, capital and financial support. We already have a tradition of financial support. Whether it's local or national final, the jury may be interested in certain projects, and they may be the investor of that project. Until the end of last year, we have attracted a large amount of social investment amounting to 30 billion. Also, there will be banking resources, particularly from China Merchants Bank. Since the first competition till now, China Merchants Bank have been financially supporting this competition and those enterprises. They have a plan. In the past 7 years in a row, they have financed 30 enterprises with a credit of 26.6 billion RMB yuan. So that's a really boost to those startup companies. And secondly, they will benefit from our policies. When you just entered, you may have noticed that each city has its own policies of innovation and entrepreneurship. When we were in Luoyang, for the winners of the competition, Luoyang government particularly laid out some settling policies. There will be preferential treatment in land, taxation, and talent attraction. Particularly since 2015 and 2016 across the whole nation, many local governments, including the science and technology agencies, have been making such greenways for those policies, for those enterprises. And at central level, the central government is paying continuous attention to this event. As I said, the outstanding enterprises and the winners of the final will get the financial fiscal support from the central government. In 2016, the General Office of Ministry of Science and Technology and the General Office of Ministry of Finance delivered a notification saying that there will be subsidies for those winners. Direct fiscal budget support from the central government. Personally, I think if you get the subsidies, large or small, the important thing is it's a social recognition. It's a recognition and a backup from the government. And there will be some talent policies as well. Another policy is about Beijing. Beijing's household registration is a difficult thing to fetch, but if they want to settle in Beijing, they will get a preferential scoring system equivalent to the scores of National Science and Technology Advancement Award winners. so capital, social, and government policy support. For example, in this round, 5 enterprises are industrial dragonheads. There will be Jingdong, JD, and Haier, the famous enterprises. Their innovation chain, industrial chain, and capital chain will be opened They will match with the demands of other enterprises, particularly the innovative startup companies. By such matchmaking, those smaller startup companies may be able to enter into the ecosystem of the already established big companies, like JD. So that may shorten the time of starting their business. It's also a benefit to the established companies. When they develop certain products, they may have higher cost than the smaller enterprises, but now by joining hands with the smaller ones, they can lower down their R&D cost. They're fighting for the highland of the industry, and they can enrich their product portfolio. Starting from 2016, we start such matchmaking, and in 2017, we began such professional contest dominated by the big enterprises, and in 2018, we further integrate different sizes of those enterprises. Particularly if they are dragon heads, they will dominate that competition, and our jury will support them. For example, themed under AI. With your information, I could feel that our competition is very professional and market-oriented, including our jury. Now let's enter into this exhibition. In the afternoon, I guess it's the competition for the growing enterprises. This is how it goes. Those sitting on the stage, they must be the jury, right? They're the 7 judges of the final. It's a stage and it's open to the society. Now, an environmental protection company from Guangzhou is presenting. He did the roadshow in front of the judges and the audience for 8 minutes, after which our judges will ask questions and take answers for 7 minutes. And then the judges will independently score him. And the final score will be shown on the big screen. It's fair and transparent. I could see the countdown. So when the jury asks questions, there will be a countdown as well, and he cannot exceed the time limit. Yes. So is there any candidate running late? Of course. Some of them may be bringing their products for an exhibition. Yes. One brought their product this morning, and some did bring the products in the afternoon. We have a waiting room. They took their products there for the observation of the judges, or they took them on the stage for exhibition. Is there any product displayed? We really want to have a look. He is talking about his team.
看到这个，我们可以看到啊，这个所有的参展企业都会在这个第一排进行候赛啊。那么这样也是一个交流和学习的结果，也就是说，每家企业的
All the
在讲演
candidates are sitting in the first row.
也能够看到。
While they are waiting, they could also learn from the others.
可以看到这次也是来参赛的企业非常的多。那我们这样，我们去找一找这个已经参加了
Many enterprises are sitting here.
企业，或者说是我们
So
看
let's
一下
look
有哪
around
些企业。
and interview those enterprises who finished their
你
presentation.
好，请问您是这次的这个参赛选手吗？或者是这个参赛企业啊？
对，是的。
您是来自哪里？
我是来自江西九江的。
Hi, you're one of the candidates? Yes, I am. Where are you from?
这个是我们江西本地。
From Jiangxi of Jiangxi province,
这次在这个宜春
a
这个
local
参赛是比较方便
company
的
in Jiangxi province.
这是很难得的，就是没
So
想
it's
到
very
这次
convenient for you to come to Yichang this time.
宜春，我们从九江过来也很近，也很方便。再一个呢，我们
It's really beyond my imagination.
感到很自豪。
It's convenient to commute from Jiangxi to Yichun, and it's really a pride for us to be one of the final candidates. It's really a hard one. So, what is your technology you want to present? We're producing a green lighting product. We have our insulation and packaging system. We have a membership system, and also our lighting system will be good for the eyes. We are also energy saving,
上午是参加
and also we are cost effective with a reasonable price.
也是经过了这个半决赛这样一个选拔，参加这个半决赛。
So you were in the morning final in the startup group.
太不容易了。
When you were in the semifinal, how did you feel?
企业他们的核心技术实际上都是非常好，也是非常高的。
It's really difficult.
这么多企业里面，
Every candidate has strong core strength and technologies. To stand out among so many good competitors, it's really a rare opportunity, and we really want to grab on.
我们呢参加这个比赛，
Did the jury give you some suggestions or takeaways?
提了很多良好的建议，包括有很多提了很多这些就是我们意想不到的问题，都是我们将来会遇到。
They did give us a lot of good recommendations, and they pointed out some unexpected questions, which may be the obstacles for us in the future. That's really a heads up. Is this your first time in this competition? Not really, it's my second time. We were in the 7th as well. I remember it was held in Chongqing.
前面都是太高的分了。
Who spoke this morning? I myself. Were you nervous? I was. The candidates before me got really high scores. That frightens me. And we want to get a good score. After all, we are one local company. But we did our best this morning, and we are satisfied with the result. Thank you.
您好，请问您是这个参展企业？
Best wishes to your business.
浙江。我们公司是什么公司？
So you're one of the candidates. Where are you from? Zhejiang province.
我们做那个
What is your business?
氢燃料电池，这个应该属于新能源吗？
Our company is named Zhejiang 氢
整个生产和使用。
丰源 Hydrogen Energy Technology Company. So it's also one of the new energy forms. We have zero emission in the production. Could you introduce more details?
也写了总理政府工作报告了。
As you know, hydrogen energy is sponsored by the national government. It's even highlighted in the government work report this year. We put the hydrogen gas into a tank, and then it inhales the air and emits the water to produce electricity. One strength about it is no pollution at all. The emission is pure water.
那我们国家呢，现在在大力的推进
If you charge for 3 minutes, the cruise time could be about 900 meters.
相当于是氢燃料发动机
We also have independent technology.
国际相同的这个产品已经有性能。
We could produce the parts
像是我看到有这个燃料电池是吗？
for engines.
我们可以
and we have good performance with the support of the hydrogen energy. So you could actually be a replacement of traditional cells in the cars. Yes, traditionally they burn oil or equipped with lithium battery, but we have another pathway. We have hydrogen gas, but we don't burn it. We electrify the hydrogen gas. One advantage about it is we could double the efficiency compared to burning the hydrogen gas, so we could last more miles. And also, as I said, during the production and usage, there will be zero pollution. So, is this your first time here? Yes. In which group? Startup company. So you finished already. Who was the speaker? I myself. How did you feel? It's a good opportunity. It's really a rare opportunity to talk about this new energy on such a big platform. It's a pointed direction. China has so many domestic companies with mature technologies, and sometimes we even surpass the international players like Honda. So we do hope to get more industrial support from the government. We are not relying on import. Some enterprises could independently handle it. We just need to get more support from the government in terms of industrialization. We were one of the earliest players of the R&D. Thank you. Thank you for your answer. I hope you could come up with your version of a drone or new energy-driven automobiles at one day. So many enterprises on the board standing out. Let's interview another one. Could you introduce yourself? From Qingzhou City in Guangxi Province. It's a beautiful city in the Beibu Gulf region. We produce black technology in the new energy vehicle sector. Which group are you in? Startup company. Did you bring your product? Not this time, maybe next time. Were you the speaker? Not me, my team member, our general manager. Could you introduce more details about your technology? For example, when the automobile are climbing up, it's very difficult. So if there is a speed transformation, it's easier for the automobile to climb up. Do you need any support? This time we come here to exhibit our technological strength. We are one of the leaders in this technology, and we want to declare to the whole world that in the NEV sector, we are not just catching up, but also overtaking the others. So you're going to the globe. Best wishes to your product.
可以看到啊，在这个比赛的大厅有非常多的企业的展板。那么与此同时呢，这个旁边的这个
On the wall, there are introductions about so many enterprises,
比赛。那我们在最后请这个严处给我们说
and some enterprises are just
今天
competing.
什么时候我们
Mr. Yan,
这样一个结果最终
大概在
when will the final result come out? At about 4:30.
一天决赛的这个结果都公布出来。
So the result for this whole day will be published at that time. Yes.
怎么样的措施或者是帮扶之类的？
What will be the next step for the final winners? Materialized.
Welcome to Headline Buster, brought to you by 不行，这个提词器又坏了。哎，可以了。那这样，等一下你帮我开一下行吗？开始一下 ，OK。那我就这样吧，试一下。能开始一下。